How are you doing?
Good.
Alright. So today we're going to do a very interesting lesson. We're going to talk about something called selection. Before to get you introduced, you're already here on the PowerPoint. I want you to click on the link and we're going to play a little game. So click on the link and tell me what you observe. Go ahead. That's what this one here?
Yes.
So you're gonna click the green button here and tell me. Kiara, got it? You can use this one. But then I'm going to have the erase it. Page. Play it again. Yes, you have to play the game. So when you click on this, when you play, you have to play the game. And you're using the arrow keys. So play. And you have to read the instructions first and then follow. Oops. So I did 26 seconds. How many seconds did you do? How much? So you press the green flag to play and the red one to stop. Okay, stop now. You want to tell me? You want to tell me what was the game all about?
There was a lot of girls running and the game was to avoid the stone, which was the impact.
You had a challenge. Would you call that a challenge?
No, it wasn't much of a challenge.
Okay. How much seconds did you go?
It's only 9 seconds.
Sydney. Kiara? I won! Alright, let's go back to the slides. Try the other button and tell me the other link, and click on the buttons. So there you have. Look at it and tell me. Try clicking the buttons and tell me what would happen. It's already PowerPoint here. Okay, when you're trying to get it done. So, if you click on feed, what you think feed does? Yes, literally. So the button tells you if, so the code behind that would have been if you press feed cat. You pet and sleep. Let's go back to these slides now. So today's topic is selection. And selection follows right after what we have done, sequence. Before we get into today's lesson, I'm going to ask you something about last class. In problem solving, a set of steps can be described as something, one word. I'm asking you to choose the word. You can choose the word on your slide. You will see choose a word. I see 1 of 6 responses. So algorithm, and that is correct, and we have done that already. The next one, there is a word. A set of steps that are executed in a specific order is called a something. You want to tell me what that something is? And we did it last class, if you can. Flowchart, sequence, flowchart. Literally, it is an order, but it does have some selection in it, but the answer was sequence. And we did that with Ms. Rama. Next one. So selection. What do you think this selection is all about? Do you have to select things? In fact, you had to select something recently. Subjects.
Yes.
What determined what you wanted to do. What profession or what, I saw a lot of you, what options you want to do career-wise. So would that have influenced your choices?
Yes.
Or what other things will determine if you get through with your subjects that you want? Yes, how you perform. So selection, and really we call it subject selection, is indeed choosing something, and we need to look at the criteria to choose something. Here are some words, well, I say here, but you have it on your screen. Selection, condition, true, false, outcome, conditional statement linking together of a condition and the outcome, program, and algorithm. These are some words that we're going to encounter. We know these before. Now, in algorithms, selections are decisions or questions. So far, what we really have done only is one step follow the others. Not so? You've done an order, and you all told me about eating the cereal, the bowl, and the milk, and the, and you all were very particular what you want. So, when we want to select something, we are using what we call a selection. So, it is going to have sequence, but selection. So, they can be used to make algorithms more realistic. At certain steps, there may be more than one way to proceed, and a decision needs to be made. What is the significance of this? We use this a lot in programming and in gaming. If you like to play games, you will see there's a lot of coding in the background that determines what you're going to do next. So, if the age is less than 70, this is considered a condition. I'm looking at this, I'm asking a question. So think about selection as asking a question. If age is 70, then you are less than, you are too young to drive. Else, you are old enough to drive. Look at it. If age is less than 70, you are too young to drive. Other than that, you are old enough to drive. This is what it looks like. The word if, a condition, the word then. This is the true part of this condition, and this is the false part. And that is how it's written. Yes? Just think about it. You make decisions right through. If it's raining, pick up your umbrella. If it's not raining, no need. So, you're driving the car. Well, you shouldn't be driving if you're too young, right? But if it asks your age, let's say you're going to get your driver's permit, it will check your age and then determine if you are too young or you can qualify. What are some real-life applications of that? What's the purpose of all of this? Do you see anything in our real life that this can apply to? You have some answers here. The traffic lights. How is this selection?
Because when it is green, that means you have to move, and when it is red, you have to stop.
Yes. Did you ever notice that no two, like for example, intersection, all of them are, if I have to turn this way and you have to turn, they will never be green together? You have noticed that? So that will determine what is green and who's going and who's stopping. And actually goes in a sequence. The graded system in school, did you get an A or B or C? How will you determine if you get an A, B or C? Well, it depends on your grades, your marks, to determine your A, B, C. The greenhouse temperature system, if you know you have those, like those arid places have seedlings, they control the temperature. If it's too high, it's too low, they adjust it accordingly. Income tax, you don't pay income tax. But people who are above a salary grade, they have to pay a certain amount, a percentage. So if you don't fall above that bracket or lower, you pay accordingly. And the bell system at school, did you know that? You know the bell has to be timed, well, we time our bell. Did you notice? Did you ever notice that? The bell rings precise. Some days ago. But it's really if. So it's really if something is happening, do something else do. And think about it. When you're at your parents' vehicle and you're going and the light is green, they go. But if it is red, it's stop. So that is if then else. Let's go on. So the if then else is used, the word if then else. This is where you make a decision. The if then part, the condition goes here. After the then is always the true part, and the else part is the false part. And I'm going to show you how it's written. Take a look. It's written like this. This is the proper way, indent, so that we can see that this is the true part and this is the false part. Many times we use these operators. They're called relational operators. Do you know these? Where you know these? Greater than, less than, not equal to. Equal. Isn't it a decision? You're asking a question. Is X bigger than Y? How about this one? If the exam score is greater than equal to 50, you pass. Print on the screen, pass. Otherwise, you failed. And you mentally do this one. You check to see how much marks you get, and once you know your grade or your mark on the paper, you say, well, yes, I passed you. So, this is another one. If it's greater than 1,000, discount, no discount. Are you getting the hang of it? Are you seeing that we're asking questions? And based on the answer, we are doing something? Let's see. What is the outcome of this when code is run? If the letter KA is pressed, what should happen? What is this? Now this is one without the else. So this is only going to happen if this is true. And in scratch we have that, and then we have this one. If the Q is pressed, what should happen when the Q is pressed? And if it isn't, if it's not, if they didn't press the Q, what will happen? Are you seeing it? So I'm only going to do this if the Q is pressed, and I'm only going to do this if it is not pressed. So A, B, C. Let's try now another activity. Same thing here, but I just explained. So take a look at it. This is the true part, this is the false part. Simple? This is called the condition or the question we're asking. I'd like you to tell me how you feel about this material so far. You're going to drag the icon, so whether you understand, you're confused a bit, or you really need some help, and I'll talk to you after class. I'm not showing the answers as yet, I'm not showing. So go ahead and drag. Okay, I see 4 dots, so that means you're good. Are you all good? You sure? Were you able to log in? Great. We are going to go to Scratch. So go to the Scratch MIT website. I have it already. And you're going to click Create. What are the instructions? Simple instructions. So this is what it would look like. I need you to delete the cat and add a dog. And change your backdrop. Look at the instruction. For this one, I'm going to walk you through this one, right? So let's see the results. What results are displayed when a number is greater than 50 is used in the condition. That is what we're going to do. When a number is bigger than 50 in a condition, what are you going to show? Let's see. Here are your instructions. Look at me please, before you do anything. Delete the cat sprite, add the dog sprite. I have color coded it for you. Go to events, Events. Events is where you actually choose how your action takes place. In this case, is choose the green flag. Control, you're going to choose the if block. Operators, that is a green block. So the colors are color coded so you can know where it is. Watch this. This is a condition. I wanted to know when the number in here is bigger than this, what should you display? Well, if this number is bigger than 50, then you can say yes, it's bigger than, and you can say how long you want to say, and you can do whatever you want. I'm just doing this to show you you're doing something. I want you to try to complete this and figure out what will happen in the else block. Now, if I move 10 steps here, I want you to figure out what will happen, what you put here to move 10 steps back. So, giving you 2 minutes to see if you can copy this. Not copy literally, create that. These are the instructions if you get this. 2 minutes and then I'll show you and I'll see where you at. This way. So, delete the cat, add the dog, say the green flag is to check when you start, pull out your operators, pull out your control. Let me get you back. Awesome. So, follow suit what I have there. Put your hand up if you figured it out. Okay, oh, but if I now move 10 steps forward, what might be lunge? Tell you what might be. What will that do? So, really and truly, the stage that we want to see the action on is really like a graph page. And if you move 10 steps forward, to go backward will be minus. That's how, so you can figure it out. You can put that. That's the figure. You can say true. Let me show you. Sydney, you got true? Kiara. Is it working? Hero. Okay? So I'm going to show you quickly. So here I am. I'm going to keep the cat. I'm going to add a backdrop. So Malibu Beach. Control and events. So come here and I will pull out my if block. Anything else? I'll make this bigger so you can see. And then I'm going to pull out my operators, and I want to ask a question if something is bigger, I'll drop it here, and put a number, any number. And what do you want to do? I'm just going to say something. Is 54 greater than 50? I'm just going to say yes. And if it is not, I'll say no. No. And that is it. Get everything? Yes. Now, this is very limited. I wouldn't always know the value. Let's make it a little more flexible. what about if we have, just try it for me please and see if it works. Try a value smaller than 50 and see if it also gives you the correct output. Does it? If I put is 2 greater than 50, what's the answer for this? Let's go to the other one. Now this is a bit easy. This is just to get you introduced. Do you see how the F works? Does that make sense? Okay. Let's go to the other one now. Activity 2. You're going to use a variable. A variable simply is a value, what we discussed already, a container to hold a value while you use it. So here we go. This one is in the handout that I gave you as a guide, but I want you to figure it out. Delete the cat sprite, you can also use that, the same one you had, and I will save this work, I'll ask you to save your work on the computer. Delete the cat sprite, whatever you had, most of you had a dog, apply a backdrop, you have that. But look at this one. Design and code the following conditional statement with 2 outcomes. Ask the user, all the time you will put in the value. I want you to ask the user what is the answer for 2 by 2. I'm going to show you how to ask the user, and if the user enters the correct answer, tell them correct, otherwise incorrect. What do you think you're going to do for this one? Any ideas? A hero? How are you going to do this one? Yes. And this one. So you're asking the user what is 2 by 2. Well, I think you'll take less time than that. Let me see. You don't know how to ask the user. It's under sensing, the blue one, sensing. And you'll see ask. So just go ahead and ask them the questions. So you can say, hey, what's 2 by? So change what's your name, you have to drag on the block. Okay. And you have to say, put the green flag to start. Good. Say hello. What should you have? Now if I want to ask a question, sensing, look at here. What should you use is sensing? Ask, what's 2 by 2? What's 2 by 2? And wait. Now I want to make things a little more interesting. So I'm going to add another sprite. Which one should I use? Let's ask this to you. So I'm asking her, hey, what's 2 by 2? And I'm just making it interesting. I could think, no. She could, and then she can say, events. She can say, looks. So you can be creative, right? I have to show you. She can say, and the cat would say, so what's 2 by 2? And then I'm gonna wait. Wait some seconds. That's a long time. And then here, and I wouldn't have this one because I'm checking to see what's your answer. So when I say wait, so what's 2 by 2 and wait, this is a bit long. I'm gonna say if, you have to do the operator, something is equal to something, you seen it? You don't have to have all of this, I'm just being fancy. You'll say if, what is the answer for this? 2 by 2 is what? So 2 by 2 is 4. So if 4, sorry, it's in the wrong place. 4 is 4. You have to pull out now the sensing block and says if answer. equal to 4, say correct. Otherwise, is correct. That's me. Oh, my time. Time's up. What's 2 by 2 and wait? Wait 8 seconds. If the answer is 4, the cat is going to say correct or incorrect. Let's see that. So put in the answer. 2 by 2. Okay, so you said correct. Did you get it? Did you get it?
Yeah.
Can we move on? That's right. So you have seen the solution. You're just using the answer block. That's the equivalent here of a row. And we're going to be using more of that when we do games, when we build our game. This is your homework, page 152. This is a much more difficult question. It's actually asking you for 3 values. You're going to do a calculation, and then it's going to check your answer. And what we now do, we know what is selection. Can anybody tell me what is selection? Can I have a volunteer to tell me what is selection? No? No volunteers? So you don't understand what is selection? In your own words, what do you understand selection to be? Yes? Ahira, can you add it to Sydney's definition? Want to add anything? Having to make a choice, but based on a condition. We understand the importance of if then else? Do you realize you make decisions every day? How to use the if then else? Do you know how to use it in Scratch? Did you find it was interesting? Now we did easy things, it get very hard. Let us try this quiz, and this quiz simply asks you 5 questions. Just put in your email address, you can put your school email address. I'm asking you to tell me what is selection, what is the outcome of this code, in programming how it is selected from today's lesson. Is it a question? And give me the difference between selection and sequence. Do not forget to save your work on your computer. File save as. So your quiz, it should take you only 3 minutes for that quiz. The hardest and most challenging thing would be to write the definition of selection and explain how it's different from sequence. And just raise your hand so I'll know that you are finished with the quiz. Just raise your hand and give it a thumbs up so I will know. Great, I see you all on the last one. Wonderful. have submitted. Finish? 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 We're almost to the end. Thank you very much for participating. Before you leave, I want you to reflect on what you learned today. In a few words, tell me, what did you like? What did you not like? What was easy? If there was anything, what was hard? You have to write it. We have to go back. Yes. Go ahead, write. You can use this, or you can just type, or you can text. Whatever it is you want to tell me, I would be appreciative of what you say. I will not read it here. Pause. And stop. And what did we like? Scratch. Nice. What you did? Okay. Nothing was easy. Using scratch, doing the activity. Oh, but you know we had the notes here. Getting the right outcome. Yes. Yeah, it was a bit trial and error. Scratch, sequence, building my scratch. Yes. And feedback. There are 4 questions. I want you to look at these questions carefully. I think that knowing about the if then else is related to my decision making in life. Yes or no? I think that the if then else function is related to my decision making. I feel confident knowing what results to expect from an if function. I recognize the choices I make will produce varied outcomes, and I don't see any link at all between this topic and my life. Go ahead and tell me your answers. Why you click the form? So let's see how you did in this quiz. Okay. Not everybody got.
Excuse me, I can write my resume.
Tell us, she's coming. Okay. So ladies, I see some of you got it right. Okay. So that's the previous responses. And let's just close off. Did you put your feedback? And ladies, further checking. So far, we only tested one condition. Did you see that? We only had one condition. But what about if you have multiple conditions? How do you factor that in? So that's something to think about. We'll achieve that in another class. So if you have 76, how do you know what grade A, B, or C? And how can you test it multiple times? You only were able to do it once. Did you notice? You could only do it once, and then you have to start over again. In this lesson, we use selection to check a condition. Did you do that? You identified conditions by the if then else. Did you do that? You created simple Scratch programs which use conditional statements with 2 outcomes. Did you do that?
Yes.
Therefore, in our next lesson, you will use repetition with selection to create an outcome. Thank you all very much, ladies. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Thank you very much for your participation. Have a good afternoon. You can shut the machine.